Hi everyone, Andy Davis here again from Master of Voice, a channel with reactions to performers from across the world. In this episode, I am so happy and honored to be featuring legendary singer Karen Carpenter as she performs with the Carpenters back in the early 70s. Let's jump right in for this performance of Superstar. Her brother Richard there in the background on piano.
Before the second show.
You guys, her voice to me just melts my heart. I grew up listening to the Carpenters. I believe this song was released just a couple of years before I was born. And then I believe this is a performance live on the BBC in 1973. So that was the year I was born. But I grew up throughout those 70s years as a little kid and into the 80s, of course. She passed away in the early 80s, I believe, so tragically and so young, 32 years old. But a few days ago, this week, she would have turned 70. So when I saw that headline, I knew that I had to feature her stellar voice on this channel. And you can hear this iconic intro here, just where I stopped. Everyone, I believe, almost everyone in the world, at least of my era, knows this beginning stanza by Karen Carpenter as being one of the most beautifully sung intro phrases of any song in the world, at least to me. Just her vowel placement, the purity and beauty of her voice. Truly phenomenal.
Your guitar. It's just the radio.
Wow.
Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby? You said you'd be coming back this way again, baby. Baby, 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 oh baby, I love you. I really do.
I love this song, you guys. The arrangement, this was actually a cover for them. This was released by a different duo just a couple of years before them. And Richard sort of redid it. You know, they remind me a little bit of Billy and Phineas, Billie Eilish, you know, a brother-sister duo doing so well in their younger years of life. And he had rearranged this song for them. I love the horns in this song. To me, just so late 60s, early 70s. You really feel the turn of that decade in this song, in my opinion, at least for the instrumentation and the feel of the song. But her stellar vocals, she has such great breath control for these longer phrases, but then she allows the vowel sound to migrate around just a bit to give her voice different colors in certain parts of her range here. Of course, most of this right in the center of her chest voice, a little low into the chest voice at times, and you can hear the vowel migrate backwards for those lower notes, and then a little brighter or forward up into the middle part of her chest voice. But to me, she is one of the iconic singers ever to sing in the world. And maybe I'm a bit biased, but I just love Karen Carpenter. She was beautiful as well.
Santa Fe, and I can hardly wait to be with you again.
I love the way she crescendoed through the note there on the word wait. She really just allowed the volume to increase, but she also adjusted the vowel just a bit to give it that extra emphasis. Of course, the lyrics here to me are haunting, knowing that she did die of complications from an eating disorder, and that disorder was possibly due to some dark times she was having in life. You know, she battled that for years. And to me, it's just truly heartbreaking to know that. But you can sort of hear the pain in her voice at times. And I think that's what drew us in as fans of hers, was that we felt the emotions in her voice. She was not a performer that had to go out and do a bunch of high kicks and flips and vocal acrobatics. It was the purity, the clarity of her voice that we truly felt every emotion she was singing about, just straight out of her soul, if you will. I am so impressed by her and this performance. I've never seen this particular performance, even though this is one of my favorite songs of theirs. Her voice just haunts me. And, you know, she started in marching band. She was a sports fan. I'm a big sports fan. I started in marching band as well. I believe they gave her the xylophone or the glockenspiel. I believe I read in an article. And of course, she transitioned to really loving the drums and becoming a female drummer, which was not common in this era. And, you know, so she was a bit on the forefront there, if you will. Just so well done. Such a stellar musician.
What to say to make you come again?
Those dynamic differences again there.
Come back to me again and play your sad guitar. Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby? You said you'd be coming back this way again, baby. Baby, 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 oh baby, I love you. I really do.
I just love this song, you guys. And to me, this was so well done. And you know, I read that when they actually recorded this song for their album, they did it in one take. The way they would record that I've read about is that Richard would come in and lay down the tracks with the band if they were having a full band, or, you know, just the different instrumentation they would use for certain songs. And then that Karen would come in and lay down her vocals when they were actually recording for their albums. And that she was pretty hard on herself for those vocals. But they actually said that when they laid down this song for their album, she performed this song in one take. That's all it took for her to have the perfection and the emotional excellence and vocal excellence that she wanted to put forth in this song. And so I am truly impressed as a singer with just her God-given innate ability to sing so well.
Don't you remember you told me you loved me, baby? You said you'd be coming back this way again, baby. Baby, 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 oh baby, I love you. I really do.
Wow. Wow, you guys. To me, it doesn't get much better than a purely sung song, just like I said, with such innate abilities to sing and to emote. You know, it's one thing just to sing a song, but her use of different dynamic contrasts, letting those vowels migrate around to give us different timbres of those lyrics, to me is just perfection. I wish she was still here with us, you guys. And I can only imagine what she would have put out in those years. She was just 32, so young. But her talent lives on through these videos and through her legacy of being such a legendary singer and performer, a true superstar. Wow. I hope you all enjoyed this reaction as much as I did. I love her so much. One of my inspirations as a musician. You can't help but when you grow up with music like this, want to be involved in music. I mean, it just truly permeates your soul, and that's what her music did for me. If you enjoyed this reaction, please click like and hit subscribe down below. I've also left a link to my Ko-fi account. If you're able to support me there, we're going to be having exclusive content there and deciding some of our future songs that we react to on this channel. And otherwise, just have a great day.